Rumor has it the next target for Apple is, in fact, Target. Hello, fellow traders everywhere. Adam Hewison here, co-founder of MarketClub, with your midday market update for Friday, the 6th of January. We had the gremlins in here today with the technical parts, but we're on our way right now. Is the next target for Apple Target? We'll look at how our trade triangles are interpreting the moves in Apple and also in Target. We'll also be looking at three stocks on the move today. That's the APOL Group, DEVRY, and Family Dollar Stores. Each of these markets are in the news and have had big moves today. We want to see how our trade triangles are interpreting and what they have to say about these stocks. We'll also be looking at the market on a 52-week rule trade this weekend. The technicals and the trade triangles are perfectly aligned on this market, so it could be a great weekend trade. Now to the one truth we rely on every day, and that is MarketClub's trade triangle technology. So here we are at my home page. We're going to be going to the portfolio, which is right here. So you can click here, or I've got it already set up to speed this along. So here we are with the markets we'll be following today. First off, we'll be looking at the S&P 500, which is a normal thing. And you can see right now, this market has really sort of just dried up in terms of the last 3 days. You can see each move, we sort of gone up, stopped, gone up, stopped, gone up, stopped. A little bit of pressure today. Market's down. The jobless numbers were pretty good, but people are still concerned about Europe, and this is a big, big question mark in a lot of traders' eyes. So I'm also going to put on the chart our Donchian trade channels. You can see we're right up against the trade channel again. We would not be surprised to see some sort of pullback in this market. However, we're building this market up, and if we go over 1295, we're going to get this market on the upside. So let's see what our next market's going to say, and that's going to be silver. Silver has a score of 65, which means it's in a trading range. The action, of course, today is not that great. This is Tuesday's action, the first day back at work. And for trading in the U.S., even though some trading took place on Monday in Europe, we actually moved the market higher, but we're actually lower than where the close was on Tuesday. Not such a good sign. I think we'll see this market come back on the defensive. Much the same thing on gold. Which a lot of people probably won't want to hear. The gold market has a nice climb. We moved out of the Donchian trade channel like we did here. We've moved right back up. We're getting towards the top of the Donchian trade channel. Today's action is a little bit negative. I would say probably if we see a little more, if we take out today's lows, which was trading right around the 1608 area, I think this market's going to be looking pretty much on the defensive. I would like to see personally some sort of pullback here, so a test of the probably the 1580, 1575. I think the market for the next couple of weeks will be on the defensive. So let's see how that plays out, folks. And let's go to our next market. This is like watching paint dry copper. You can see just on with my telestrator, I'll put this on, but you can see it just going. I can just draw a line through here, and that's pretty much where the market's been. It's over this level. It's too high, too low, too high, too low, too high. So I think for the most part, this is just going to be in a trading range. However, the longer term trade triangles are negative, and this is what we're going to hang our hat on because they tend to be right. This is from 389. The market's at 343 right now. So you can see we still have nice profits in that position, but we are expecting this market to be on the defensive, and it somehow leads the way for the equity markets as well. It sort of reflects off that. So let's clear this, go to our next market. Lots of markets to go through today. We're sorry for the delayed start, but that somehow happens. We're looking at crude oil now. The crude oil market is actually closed very well. It's a plus 90, so the trend is very strong. However, the action today, I don't like the action today. We should not be doing this on a Friday, in my opinion, in this market. We should be actually, if not right around these levels, we should be close to them. But what I'm seeing is a little bit of a defensive action. We're below the lows of yesterday and the day before, so and also below the close on Tuesday. So this looks a little bit to be a little bit defensive, and this potentially could create a doji weekly line. We'll be talking about that later on in one of our weekend updates. So let's see how that plays out. But the trend is clearly up. We've talked about this big energy field, which is, I think, can propel this market much, much higher. And we may have to consolidate a little bit more before we see that happening. So next market is going to be the dollar index. And, of course, this has been the star show performer, whatever you want to call it, plus 90. We've been very bullish on this index, as you well know. We've moved up beautifully. The trend is your friend. You've heard me say that before, and it is true. We are long from 76.61. The market's currently 81. That's a huge move in the Forex markets. And also, it's technically very strong in this market. So closing on a Friday, this is going to be a very, very good rule. If we do close on the highs today, and that's the key thing, if we do close on the highs is 81.37. So we close close to that, let's say over 81.30. I think it's a good weekend trade. I think this market will be higher on Monday. Conversely, we'll go to this is the 52-week roll. We're going to be looking at the euro in just a second, so we'll talk about that even further. Here we are in the CRB index. We talked about the longer-term trend for this market is negative. We're in a 55 range, which means a trading range. We thought this high we saw here, right around the 314, 315 area would be it. It's pretty much what it was. I think this market's going to be on the defensive, and this is going to create probably a perfect doji weekly cross, meaning we've probably put in a top for this market for the time being. Technically, I think we could see this market come down for the next couple of weeks and be on the defensive. So getting to the market we talked about, which is the euro-dollar cross, this has made new lows. This is going to be one of the perfect trades for the weekend. This is what professional traders look for. They look for weekend closes because the chances are very, very high this market's going to be lower on Monday and Tuesday, and even on Sunday when it starts trading, Sunday our time in Australia. So I think that's definitely a market to look at. I think this could be possibly in a free fall, which means if it is, Europe is going to be very hard pressed. It's going to be very hard pressed to do anything in the U.S. with the equity markets, and lots of things are going to be on the defensive. So really pay close attention. If this closes down at these levels, or even if we see the market close at or close to 127, it's 127.21 right now, I think this will be extremely negative for the euro next week. So let's go to our next market, and that's going to be the Apollo group. This is the first market we talked about, and let's see how our triangles interpret this. Right away, we're plus 100, and this is what I'm saying. When these monthly trade triangles come in, they may not illustrate right away exactly the next move, the next day, but look at how it captures this move. So this move today was no surprise to us because all of our trend indicators were positive, and that's the important thing. We had our weeklies, and we put our weeklies in. You can see our weeklies came in right here, and our monthlies came in pretty much like a couple of days later. So here, very, very important. The trend is your friend. We're long from 50. It's currently 56, so it's about a 12% return in less than a month. Very, very positive, and the trend is your friend. This will be another good candidate for the weekend trade. If we close at these levels today, the high was 57.09, we're 56.95. If we close at or close to these levels for the weekend, I could see this market opening higher on Monday. But of course, the big concern is, of course, the euro and how that's going to affect the markets. Or the dollar going up, the euro going down, making our goods more expensive. But let's go to our next market, and that's DEVRY, and the symbol is DV. Big, big move up today. However, it did not alter our long-term monthly trade triangle from 51.34. So the question is, now you can see we cover that position at 36.12. The idea is basically you use, and I'll write this down so everyone gets this. We use our monthly trade triangles. So these trade triangles right here, that's the monthly. For trend. Okay, that's what we use for the big trend picture. And then we use the others, the weeklies, for timing. That's getting in and out of the market. So once you have a monthly signal like you would have, you would stay with that market. You would, in this case, you would have shorted the market right here because you're trading in the direction of the trend. You would have shorted it at 37.68. You would have covered the position at 36.12. Not a big profit, but you would not have had to sit through this move up to 41. So again, it's all about timing and using the trade triangles to filter your trades out and make them profitable. So let's clear this off the screen. Let's go to our next market. And the next market is going to be FDO, Family Dollar Stores. Huge down move today. However, it did not change our monthly trade triangles. Now, this is not a good sign, particularly, but you can see we actually had a signal yesterday at 56.28 to come out of the position. So we avoided this large 6-7% move on the downside. It's actually down 7.38% right now. So we avoided that, and that's what the trade triangles do. Remember, we trade with the direction of the major trend, which is the monthly. However, we filter our trades out with the weekly for timing. Here's the signal. It's right here. It wasn't put in afterwards. It's just the way things work out. But the general longer-term trend for this market, and just put this on the screen, is the general longer-term trend. I'll take everything off so it's very clear, is basically bullish. So we want to probably look for a place to buy this and trade with the direction of the major trend. So when the weekly turns around, and I'll get this closer up, when the weekly turns around, this goes green somewhere. It could be in another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, who knows, I don't know when. But when that turns green and this remains green on the monthly, we want to be a buyer of FDO. So let's go to our next market, and that's going to be Apple. We love Apple here. Well, Apple's moved out of the top of the triangle. It's very concerning. We're up against these highs right here. The highest close we've seen in Apple is 21.95, 421.95. We're currently trading at 420.63. It remains to be seen. Now, the rumor is that Apple is going to open stores, or little mini Apple stores, inside of Target. Whether that's true or not, we don't know at this time. There's been no comment from either Apple or Target, so we'll have to see how that plays. But the trend is clearly up for Apple. You can see we're long from 355. I mean, these are the numbers, no jokes. And the last signal we had on the timing was 393. So again, you've got some nice profits in that market, and stay with it. The trend is your friend. So looking at the next market, of course, and that's Target. What's going on there? Not such a pretty picture. All of our trade triangles are down. This is the little pop you've seen with the news, but it wasn't enough to change any of our trade triangles. So the trend in Target, at least we perceive to be down at this moment. But anyway, that's what we're doing. Sorry for the delay, folks. Traders everywhere, we love doing these updates for you. Sometimes with everything else, you have technical gremlins that jump into these things, but we've solved those problems, and we're looking forward to talking to you. Perhaps later today, we're going to do a weekend update early today, so come back and listen to this channel, Market Club TV, later today, and see what we're saying about the weekly update. So Adam Hewison for Market Club. I'll see you later on today. Have a great trading day. Thanks for stopping by.